All right, shalom. All right, everybody, we starting. Shalom, everybody. Well, almost pretty. I'm gonna call it afternoon now. It'll be pretty much an afternoon. Good afternoon. Is this popping up on the TV? No.
The world on that TV.
So we basically gonna go back, cause I didn't finish yesterday, basically. So we gonna. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, we'll do a little recap and then we'll go over some things that I wanted to go in a little further detail about. The title of yesterday's lesson was "The Secret to Overcoming, Elevating to the Next Level." So basically, we just talked about coping in life, of various situations and ways that we all coped, and how the scriptures can help us with coping with different things and getting through different things throughout our life. And basically, what the lesson broke down to was prayer and fasting. We went through prayer, pulled out examples in Matthew where Yeshua was speaking of prayer, things to pray about, how when you're studying the scriptures, when you're immersed in the scriptures and you're meditating, overall, it came down to meditating on the scriptures. It will guide you for how your prayer should go. You know, we at different points in our lives, we got different things that we're dealing with and that we need to handle and we need help and assistance with. So as you study the scriptures, different things should speak to you in different situations. And so hopefully with your study, you should be like, oh, I'm gonna go to this first because this helped me get through this and that. That's a form of prayer, you know, in addition to the meditation. So really, you know, that's pretty much what we spent most of our time on, was the prayer and meditation and studying the scripts. But the most powerful part, which I called it the secret to overcoming, even when Yeshua himself said it, he said, let me go back to the verse in Matthew 21:17, but this kind go not out except through prayer and fasting. You know, it's simple for all of us to just go ahead and kneel down or go to the closet or, you know, to our room and pray. But the fasting part is where, I don't want to call it magic, but the 10x, the secret really comes in. Because when you fast, you're denying your flesh, and with the word, you're supposed to be uplifting your spirit. Okay, and that's how Yeshua was able to, well, other than being the Son of the Most High, he being on earth with us, even having, you know, the same flesh that we had, he exercised these principles throughout his life. You know, he went up on a mountain fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. And it's a point that I just really want to drive home, because if you have any roadblocks in your life that you feel you need to overcome, you might be praying all the time, but maybe you need to add this fasting part to it to really break through, to give you that spiritual strength to go to the next level, to really fully overcome it. All right, because that not way you fully going, being all the way sincere with your spirit by denying your flesh and saying, I'm, you know, humbling myself all the way down to the point where I'm not providing this body no sustenance, to my spirit's crying out to you. Because all throughout the scriptures, you can see where our people have done that. When the time of sorrow, somebody died, the whole community would fast, you know, and pray to the Most High. So I want to continue to hit on points of fasting so everybody can understand, like, wow, I need to actually fast, because the scriptures speak about it, and you know, it's a powerful thing. So we already hit on what was food. We went over, you know, for the sister that wasn't here, you know, we briefly went over, you know, the foods that we consume and how majority of it is not food anyway. And we talked about how the Most High said, here, I'm gonna click it. Click this, right? Let me click it and go to it. So in the scripture, This food first shows up in Genesis 2, verse 9. And it says, and out of the ground made Yahweh Elohim to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So the point was that most of our food should come from the ground. You know, I mean, we live in nowadays in modern conveniences of going to the store and buy whatever off the shelf, you know, pop it in. And but really, truth be told, most of our food should be eaten raw. Now, there's nothing wrong with a cooked meal, you know, steamed vegetables, this and that, but you want to incorporate raw foods into your diet because that's the natural form the Most High put it in. And generally, it has the most nutrients. If you cook a food, you know, you're cooking either all or most of the nutrients out of it, you know. So that was another point that.
Yeah, I was told like raw carrots is good for your eyesight. Yeah, like this,
You know what's interesting? I started to do a little research on that. You got some people that say, "Oh, carrots is hybrid, broccoli's not real." All these different things that you hear on the internet and people do and they study, but it's interesting. Like there was this one post I seen where they say, "Okay, tomatoes is good for the heart, and if you cut the tomato in half, it looks similar to the heart." Walnuts, they say they're good for the brain, and they look like a brain. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know if that's coincidence. Because
and at 82 years old, he changed her diet. And she got her memory back.
Exactly, yeah.
It was he gave her cranberries and nuts. Like I don't know if it was walnut, I don't know walnut. I know cranberries was one of them and nuts, and she got her memory back. And everything, I just said raw carrots, because not just full carrots. I heard that raw carrots is good for us. But even eating too much, like I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's extra research. But I mean, you know, that this is something I wanted to plant in y'all mind to for everybody to think about your health. You know, your existence, both carnal and physically, is given by the Most High. So you want to take care of both of them. There ain't no point in you trying to build your spirit up, but on the carnal sense, you're deteriorating. You know, you won't be able. You got to be able to submit your whole being, you know, to the will of the Most High. So, you know, that's why I wanted to plant this seed in everybody to be conscious of these things, because every disease starts with what you put in your mouth. Every single one. You either feeding the disease or killing the disease. That's literally how it goes. Every single disease starts with the food you put in your mouth. So, you know, we could be here for a year or two. Now, I always say this is what we should have been taught in school. You go to grade school, K through 12, they don't teach us about food. We should have a class that tells us, okay, what kind of enzymes do blueberries got? They relieve inflammation and do all these different things. You know, if you got joint pain and all these things, there's different. Yeah, exactly. All of these different things that grow on the trees, as we just read, most times said was good for me. But see, we're not taught that. In Western society, they put off to the side. The Chinese, the Indians, you look at their foods and stuff like that, most of it be raw. You know, we know they eat some abominable stuff too, but you know, yeah, it be live. Yeah, boy, yeah, that's crazy, you know. Octopus, yeah, real fresh. Yeah, just pick it out the sea, right? Right. Yeah. Yep. The grains and the herbs.
I used to work for a paper shop, and all they made every day rice. Like, I work for the Vietnamese or whatever.
And would they eat it like just rice?
Well, it would always be rice.
They known for that. Generally, they known for that.
And I was scared to eat it because I didn't know
I couldn't even eat
A rat in the rice.
I still eat straight bowls of rice.
Yeah.
You gonna put no butter on that?
Yeah, yeah.
No butter?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they don't, if you notice, I'm saying, listen, I'm sorry, if you notice, there's very seldom that. Like, the ones that are Americanized, or,
They're
the
Japanese.
ones that are Americanized, might be a little chubby, because they might be heavily indulged in what us.
Right.
But for the most part, they're not that.
Yeah, they're all their cultures. Yeah, this is the most healthy, unhealthy, well, westernized countries, because you got the what is it, Europe, the European countries, Great Britain, and all them similar diet. Well, what's odd too, though, a lot of the foods that they allow over here, like the FDA clears, you can't have in Great Britain. Yeah, the stuff that they put in the ketchup and the pops and stuff, these things are toxic, and the EU nations won't allow them to be sold in their stores, which is interesting.
The Queen, they don't even allow shrimp or pork to be served. I heard that. I'm in Costco with Tursa, and you know they give those samples. Well, I don't know if you know their samples, and it was an older white lady talking to the girl giving the sample. She was like, "Yeah, the Queen doesn't. Those are pest. What they call
Scavengers or
scavengers." She was like, they don't. That's the Queen doesn't serve that. It sounds like I don't eat it either. And she was like, well, yeah, catfish too. She was like catfish too. I'm like, I don't eat none of it. But she was saying that they don't. So all how they put that on that, like how the media pushes like eating seafood, the seafood, pork, and none of it is served.
yeah.
They lie, thinking that they think they the people.
Yeah. Ultimately, nobody should be eating these things that the Most High said to not eat nobody. But you can see that when we do it, we get affected the worst above all the other nations. So that
I want to add how you have the question on what is food.
Uh-huh.
People talk about all the stuff that people eat, but the Most High told us what food is. So these other things, all these other things, rats and pigs, it's not food.
it's not food.
It's not. It wasn't built for us to eat it. Like he told us what we could eat. All those other things are not food. And then so now we got all of this stuff that we eat as food, and it may not be stuff that say unclean, but it's still not necessarily food. It's the stuff that they create.
Unclean food.
I know it's not because it's not something that is it's not even about clean and unclean at this point now. It's just not food. They literally make things and create things from nothing to kind of make flavors and things.
Like hot Cheetos.
What is that? What is
Is
it?
that food?
No, it's not.
It's created. It's like it's not food.
I feel so bad because.
Oh wow.
When we were younger, when I was younger, we only had flaming hot. That was it. They incorporated, and I'm so mad because not knowing, like I had my daughter at 20, I was like, when I was younger, all I ate was red hot, hers, and drank a lot of Pepsi. Mom be like, don't feed that baby, like you're feeding. I'm not taking it serious because it's like I'm feeding myself this. My child has been clear, like she like flavor, she likes it, all those. But they make flaming hot everything now. They're like flaming hot. Every little thing is like flaming hot Funyuns, flaming hot Chex Mix, anything now is flaming hot.
They got the new white cheddar popcorn.
They make flaming hot everything.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, they're putting in these kids are loving it. And I feel so bad. I feel so bad.
But the point is, all of y'all who are trying to be conscious of what you're eating. Every time you pop in the pretzel or a chip, or you know that you're not eating food.
Right.
It's not food. So
Right.
you should be putting food in your mouth.
No snacks, basically.
Well, snacks that are food.
Yeah.
Snacks that are food. They create. This is all.
Hey, look, we all guilty. We all might grab an Oreo or two out here. Look, we all gonna be guilty now. I'm just saying, like Chips was talking about moderation. I'm not saying just go outside and pick grass up and look for trees that got the stuff,
Or some locusts.
locusts and all that
I
stuff.
used to eat dandelions at the ground. I didn't know why I had a strange addiction for those when I was a kid.
Well, that's a food.
But it's healthy to eat those. I
Yeah.
ate it as a teenager too.
You can eat them.
I feel like you
My
can eat
neighbor
dandelions.
made me a dandelion side.
Yeah, and
I was like,
yellow things, you know.
Right.
what's wrong with her?
Yeah.
I used to pick them out the ground and just eat them. So I tried it again when I was a teenager. I said they still taste good. But I never did it again when I was a teenager. I thought I was weird. But I used to tear those up.
It's not more. You're gonna want to.
Exactly.
You're not gonna get that.
That-
As long as it's being right now.
Right.
That
That caused that craving. Yeah.
Yeah. Nuts, that's your snack.
Curb your appetite.
That's your snack. Eat some little oranges, you know what I'm saying? That's your
The
snack.
lean fat. Those are good.
Yeah.
And water.
Yeah. You definitely want to.
8 cups in the morning.
Yeah.
And if you ever decide you want to pick a dandelion, those are good. I'm telling you.
Well,
Those are
you need
good.
You need a certain amount.
Only reason why I stopped eating them because I got a book it, but I tried to get it in the teenager, but they were still good.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with eating that stuff. I see nothing wrong with it.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So now that means that everybody got a smartphone. Everybody got laptops and computers. So everybody should be making some kind of conscious effort to change your diet and watch what you put in your body, because there's no point you getting some terminal, quote unquote, terminal illness from what you put in your mouth and not taking advantage of wisdom. Most High's about, wisdom and knowledge, and he told us what was food and what wasn't food, and in moderation. All right. So that's the point of it. If it don't got, look, we're gonna have snacks and all that stuff, but don't eat a whole bag of cookies in one setting. Maybe stretch that thing out for a week.
4 or 5 hours.
You know what I mean? Like, do it in moderation, All right. So it should have some nutrients in it. That's what the definition says, that we eat these things to maintain life and grow. It should have nutrients. The other thing too, people eat for taste. Like she said, you got to get the cravings out, because it's a whole another lesson I could do on parasites. We got parasites in our body that's actually craving it, that grow, and then they actually go to trigger the brain, and that's where the craving comes from. Yeah. And how? You got detox. You got to do detox, and that's a whole different thing. You gotta. I can give you information on that, but it's a multi.
That's going to be important for us to switch our diet.
Exactly. Yeah. 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 You got to detox. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I mean, maybe I should incorporate that, but we could look into that. But this is tying in with the spirit, because right now we're gonna get the spiritual aspect of it. But to aid in that, your food is very important, because it can, like I said, can help you focus on the Most High. We all get if you ever ate meat, you got parasites in you right now. That's chilling, doing things. Yeah.
Flavor, I don't like food.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's most of us. So
All black people actually.
So going back over fasting real quick, fasting is to abstain. All right. I started to go through we're gonna hit some scriptures. Actually, could you get Daniel. I'm sorry. Daniel. I got it up here. Daniel 12. And start at 8, please. Daniel 12 and 8.
Daniel 12 and 8.
Make this bigger.
And I heard, but I did not understand. So I said, my master, what is the latter end of these matters? And he said, go, Daniel, for the words are hidden and sealed till the time of the end.
Right. So I personally believe we close to the time of the end. We don't know the time or the hour of the day, but Daniel was asking what shall be the end of these things? And he's being told to close these things up until the time of the end. Go ahead.
Many shall be cleansed and made white and refined, but the wrong shall do wrong, and none of the wrong shall understand. But those who have insight shall understand.
Right. Are you? Oh, my bad. I'm in the KJV. Yeah, I like the KJV a little bit because you get yeah. Let's read this KJV version. Read that verse 10 again, please.
Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand.
Right. So this is what we're in the process of right now. We're in the process of being made purifying ourselves and being made white. And we're going to be tried for it because it's not an easy thing to do. We're going against the wicked world. We're coming out of the wicked world. We're trying to put off of our wicked ways. We're going to be tried for that. But it says, but the wicked shall do wickedly. So look, we can see all these people doing this stuff, but the most important person right now in the matter is you and your household, because that's all you can control. You can't control nobody else. All right.
So black people gonna be made white.
Basically, being made pure. All right.
Oh, okay.
Being made clean. Right? Yeah, they'll literally take that and run with that like that. And it says, but the wise shall understand. Now we talking about the times of the end, right? The wise is going to get these things and we're going to understand our condition better. Like I said yesterday, for the most part, when I go through the scriptures, it's almost always a scientific, now with today's modern technology and science, why the Most High told us not to do something or to do something. And the scriptures say his ways is his ways and it's above ours. We ain't going to know everything, but a lot of stuff that he directs us to do, it's, a lot of the times it's explainable now by science. It's coming out every day. They're discovering new things. Oh, this is why you don't do this. Oh, this is how this food breaks down that he said to not eat and causes cancer in you. Yeah, he said don't eat it because of that. Go ahead, bro.
But the wise shall understand, and from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that makes desolation set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waits and comes to the 1,305 and 30 days.
Oh, that was it. That was all I wanted. I thought it was more on there. That was the main point, because this, it's just talking about Yeshua coming. Because Daniel's in the Old Testament. This is speaking about Yeshua coming and doing what he does. But basically, yeah. So the main point in that was, in the last days, Daniel was told to seal these things up. So now we have further information to expound even on the scriptures that give us more understanding on how to change and be more in tune with Yahweh as we didn't have before. Could you get 1 Corinthians 3:16?
1 Corinthians 3.
Let me make this smaller. 1 Corinthians
3:16.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm trying to scroll. It's not letting me. Hold on 1 second. Oh, there's the bar. 3. 16. Okay.
Know you not that you are the temple of Elohim, and that the spirit of Elohim dwells in you? If any man defile the temple of Elohim, him shall Elohim destroy.
Right, so that's it. Do you not know that you are the dwelling place of the Elohim? Not a church, not some building. You. He's in us. So now, knowing that he's supposed to dwell in us, ain't you supposed to? You should need to repeat. This is the temple. So why are you just gonna bring any profane? Did they bring pork into the temple? Did they bring these profane things into the temple? No, they didn't. So that's why I'm tying it together with we gotta watch what we put in. Now, see, we talking. Now this goes twofold. This goes food, but things that you subject yourself to, that you intake, whatever wickedness that you can remove yourself from. You don't want to intake it, and it affects your temple. Scripture say you're supposed to be holy, man, set apart. Yeah, you got to remove yourself. You got to be set apart. Nope, we got wickedness over there. Especially now, we in the light, you can see it. You should be able to see the wickedness. The things that you do, you got to work on. Oh, I know that if I go over here, it's going to entice me to do this, so I'm not going to go over there. Might be some relationships with people you got to cut off. They toxic people. They ain't in the spirit. You might have to get yourself right before you come back to deal with them, and you strong enough. And that can go just for anything. You gotta, scripture say you gotta lose a member. You know, people think it's cutting off your actual hand or something like that. But no, that could be just different things in your life that you gotta separate from to build you and your spiritual self up. Go ahead.
I think it's interesting when we think about the idea of being the temple of Elohim, because when you look at like the purity laws, for instance, as far as like with the women and all of that, right? Without getting into the details, when you think about what was going on, is that the household had to be pure so that when the man went to the temple, he didn't defile the temple. So it was like a kind of a process that had to go on. That process of holiness and set apartness that extended from the temple out into all the little possibilities of impurities coming in. So not just like with the women thing, but uncleanness in general, all really circled around the temple. So you was maintaining purity and cleanness so that you wasn't taking uncleanness back to the temple. So now when we think about it, it's easy for us to kind of make this kind of separation where we have our kind of our spiritual life and our natural life, and those things don't touch each other. But when we look back at the Torah, it wasn't like that. Everything touched, everything was connected. So things that we're doing out here that's bringing us into a type of uncleanness in our physical situation. Well, we say, well, that's over there. I'm over at work. I'm messing with the guys at work. It's not whatever, like. And then you leave that space, and then you like go into your regular zone. But when we think about being the temple, and we think, and that, it's giving us that picture of what the temple was, it was like a whole thing, and everything mattered. So when we think about food and all of this stuff, that, we're the temple of Elohim, it's kind of, it's pretty serious when we think about all of the stuff that we put into ourselves. That's not kind of maintaining the purity of this thing, our temple.
Yes, and this goes in also into being like unequally yoked, and just the relationship you have. Like, I was in a household where we was going in two different directions, and the whole house was out of order. So it's very important that not only just you, but everyone in your household, everyone is on the same page, because it just messes up the whole dynamic of your environment and your walk, and one thing can just knock everything out of place, especially if it's like family, you know what I mean, and or living situation or whatnot. That can offset everything. It can bring a lot of different spirits in that now are like trying to get at you due to the access you're giving other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? The people you have close to you, they got demons all on them. Guess what? They gonna be trying to come on you.
Absolutely. Yep.
Transfer spirits, yeah.
Yep.
You know, there are traditions, this is what I'm and not to be, maybe you should do that, but just their mindset of understanding the importance of coming before their God.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we should have more, that more conviction.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, overall, I mean, this is, I ain't trying to be extreme, but the more I think about it, you know, I pray about it, was like be revealed. It's like, as I said before, instead of eating for taste, you're eating for your life and substance. And you want this word to be your main food, the thing that you crave more than a cheeseburger or whatever. I mean, it sounds wild crazy, but you know, that's just how I'm looking at it. Like, especially when you try to go on a higher spiritual sense, this is the way to do it.
So you're saying if like I'm real hungry one day, but the Most High told me to go across the street with this, you know, tasty cake that I'm trying to get to. You know what I mean?
Tasty.
Which one am I going to choose?
It's not food. It's not food. Tasty cake. It's like 1,000 ingredients is in that.
I was about to say tasty cake. That's all you best you could come up with. Like some other restaurant or something. If you would have said a burger, I'd have said go get the burger. But you said tasty cake. Oh man, don't.
Most High should trump all of that.
Yeah.
Most High, what He wants us to do should trump everything that we're giving priority to.
Right. I'm gonna give y'all a prime example. So y'all know the itis, right?
The itis.
The itis.
The itis.
The itis, right?
Is that real?
Yeah, that's real. You know that's real time. You get the itis, right?
The itis every time we eat.
That's a prime example.
Is that what?
Yeah. Teresa, you know about the itis? Oh man.
I'll tell you later.
Right.
I'll tell you later. Just remain silent.
So basically, I bring that up to say, but Tirsa, real quick, it's just basically when you overeat or you eat too much of the wrong thing and you're tired afterwards. Right. So food's supposed to give you energy. So after you eat a big plate of food, you want to go to sleep. That's killing you.
Oh, Thanksgiving used to be the worst for me.
Oh, absolutely. That's the chief of the things. Yeah. Because you ate all that garbage, sugar, flour, packed all that meat in you. Yeah. All that stuff that, look.
I don't be having enough for a pie. I gotta wait till I take my nap and eat that pie.
You wake up and then eat the dessert. You know, you can't have it after. You're already tired. So that's just proof of that's not a good diet if it puts you to sleep. You should eat live foods and you should be energized. Like, oh, okay, cool. Like, right. So just think about, this is one example I just wanted to throw out there. Verse 17. If you eat too much of them foods, what happen?
Get fat.
What else?
Get diabetes, probably.
What else?
Die.
Exactly. So if anyone destroys the dwelling place of Elohim, Elohim shall destroy him. Now you might think that, this is speaking of in the last days.
You're gonna strike you down with lightning.
Yeah, no, not even that soon. No, you think about Judgment Day. Some people would think of Judgment Day, right? But no, if anyone destroys the dwelling place, then he shall destroy him. No, this is like in a progression of your ignorance. You killing yourself.
I can bear witness with that because I was over 225 plus pounds.
Really?
Yeah, and they was trying to. I was eating whatever they put on my plate. Like I was a glutton. So they were trying to make me pre-diabetic. So before I started, I didn't want to get that medicine. I just decided to change my diet, and I did the gym for like a week straight. From 7 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. I didn't leave. And then I did the gym for the week straight because most I was like, you're doing too much, like slow down out for me. He gave me a direct warning that I was doing just that much, like come down off of it. So I started doing cardio for 4 hours a day, and I got down to 168. But I got up here and I blew up like the house.
Hey, I gotta commend you. Like, well, see, when they're not going to do that.
What was going on?
But now you know when it can feed your body.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was not going to claim that because I was not going to be pre-diabetic.
Jeez.
Body, like, no.
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
it's going to be one of the others. I chose that one.
Well, see, and yeah, and you seen it. You took the cue from the Most High because He was destroying you.
Yes, I was,
Well, you was destroying yourself, and He allowed it to happen.
I was, and I got down to just eating once a day.
Mm-hmm. Because
And I had RJ like that. He was eating only once a day, but when he got back to the schools, they feed them morning, then
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
So
So
this is different on the schools too. That's, I think, like junk food.
So tell me this.
yeah, it's wax stuff.
Would that go for like things like cigarettes too?
Oh yeah.
Any
Anything.
like a person who's born longer and then they eventually get age. You slept around so much, and now
I go for cigarettes, any substance,
Cigarettes,
alcohol,
cancer and stuff, right?
Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? All
Kool-Aid
these.
is the same as cigarettes?
They ain't the same, but I'm saying this goes forward. If you drink too much Kool-Aid,
I don't drink Kool-Aid.
you know what I'm saying? Too much sugary stuff. You can never eat too much greens. No, you can't. Nah, it'll process.
From my studies, I've seen someone eat too much greens and too much grain in their colon and in their respiratory system.
There you go.
But they probably have some other stuff going on.
You have to have a balanced meal.
They probably
yeah,
was
true.
cooking- They probably was cooking their greens before.
Yeah.
Hey, you just study your research. That's all I'm saying. Ain't no
They
worries.
should have used turkey.
Ain't no argument. You just study your research.
But all right, but yeah, moving forward, because I want this to be a little quicker. Mhm.
Do you guys know? Well, I'm sure it is, but in the Bible, with drinking, because I know they say don't drink to get drunk. Right?
Mhm.
Like that's what Christians have always said. But I don't know where it
Christians
talks
think it's a
about
thing,
it in
drink,
the
period.
Bible.
Let's
What
put that out.
scriptures talk about drinking?
It's like it's like some drunk.
Well, I think that idea is actually like being like a drunkard.
Yeah.
When we talk about the feast days, you're supposed to bring out your wine and your strong drink.
Yeah.
When we talk about the feast days, but in terms of being a drunkard, we supposed to go around and be sober minded. So I'll definitely have at least two bottles. I mean, I was about to say bottles. Two glasses. At least I'll have 2 glasses of wine, no problem. But that third one, I just once I start kind of just then you know because I've been on the other side where I just would just be like nonstop, and I know where that takes you to. So I don't. We're not supposed to drink to the place where we're like in a stupor, like
Getting up in the morning, first thing you do is
right, trying to recalibrate with some more like sober mindedness. So the scriptures talk against being a drunkard,
Mhm.
but it don't talk against the idea of drinking alcoholic beverages. In fact, like I said, when it talks about the feast days, it talks about getting the wine. First thing Yeshua did was
water in the wine
Wait, I mean,
so they could turn up.
But you know what?
He turned the water into wine so they could turn up out the way.
it was a feast.
His mom was like, they ain't got no wine. I was like, what they got to do with me?
but you gotta temper that with holy living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people associate drinking with worldliness,
Yeah.
going to the bar, going to the club, happy hour. We just sit around and smoke and drink and play cards. I don't know what people do in the world. I just assume that's what they do. And all of those, that's like a worldliness.
Mhm.
If we are getting together, we're doing kiddush and we're bringing in Shabbat and we have wine,
That's different than sitting in a bar.
Yeah,
drinking
that's
wine.
yeah.
You know what tickles me when somebody goes to the bar during happy hours and they kill themselves by the second during happy hours. You feel me? But the scriptures of Proverbs 23, 22, 30 talks about that. And I will read it. It says, do not drink much wine and get drunk. Do not eat too much food and get fat. Drunk and gluttonous will end up on Skid Row. And like we said, that's too cool. And dressed in rags. Wisdom, education, insight. Listen with respect to the father's grace. And when your mother
Scripture's version, I guess. I never heard
you know,
that.
those are things in the Proverbs that
Oh,
tells
get
us.
this door. I
Too
mean,
much
not.
of anything is
You got it,
bad.
Monica?
You know? Shoot, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But you know, we're using wisdom here, so we should all know that.
Oh yeah, but now you know
Shalom,
what?
sister.
When you walk in wisdom, you know your limits. Like Tom said, like when we did the Passover, and I was like, and you kept pouring that Morgan David, and you poured that last one, so that's enough. I feel me feeling like the Leaning Tower.
Right.
You know, pizza or something. I said, I can't take it anymore.
Absolutely. Shalom, sister. How are you? Good, good. Welcome, welcome. All right, we don't got too much longer. Oh yeah, the sister asked for one scripture. Also, yeah, there's plenty of scriptures that talk about being a drunkard. Tone is like right, you know. Even in sacrifices, bring what they call it, a henna wine, or what's the measurements? Yeah, that they use. Yeah. So I got one here in Proverbs 31, verse 6.
Right.
It says, "Give strong drink to him who is perishing, and wine to those embittered in being." So meaning like you depressed, you had a hard day or something like that. Let's keep it 100. You come get some wine, or you know you get. I like a little bit of rum. You drink some, and you had a rough day. It calmed your spirit down. You'd be like, all right, man, I'm cool. You know, you at home, you ain't out. Cause see, generally too, when you do these things out in the world is doing world things. You righteous, okay, in the confines of your home, you're an adult. I'm gonna just sip a little something because it relaxes you. You know, when it's saying for a person, verse 7, let him or her drink and forget his poverty and remember his trouble no more. So it'll, you know, it's balance.
Pass the drink around right now.
See, the person who's not walking with wisdom, I know they will take that verse, and drink all that poverty.
Right.
They
Yeah.
will take that verse and use it as an excuse to drink their problem away. Like somebody's close to me. Oh, I drink so much just so I don't feel the pain. They use it as a band-aid, which can affect them the wrong way.
Right.
But like you said, wisdom is needed.
Well, whoever that person that would use the scripture to become a drunkard is not using the scriptures. You got to read the whole thing, because if you read in the verse, what's that, chapter 23, you got to read that to get to 31. It'll tell you not to be a drunkard. So they ain't using it.
You gotta understand, in their own mind, they believe they're using the scripture.
Well, they need help. They need help.
They need help.
Yeah, they need help. And have them come and, you know, listen to us and get help. That's how it go. But yeah, so there's sister Mo. Well, I hope that helped out. But yeah, drinking is not a bad thing, but don't be a drunkard. Don't let it take your life over. Don't. No, I was saying I hope that helped you.
No, a lot.
Yeah, okay.
Because I thought you were supposed to be sober minded, but now when I've been baptized, I'm just gonna kick everything. I'm like, well, at least I can.
Not, yeah, I'm about to say, if it's a problem for you, then don't. You know, if people are alcoholic, yeah, I won't promote it, but yeah.
The fact that I was like literally nothing, like no drinks, no nothing. So knowing that nothing's wrong with having a drink.
I would say to what you just said, if you had it in your mind that you had a standard that you would set for yourself to maintain a level of purity, I would say do that.
Yeah. Yep. That's what you compelled to do. Yeah.
Don't let nobody ever tell you that it's not the sin to smoke marijuana.
Say it again.
To smoke it?
They don't think it's a sin.
Same about smoking cigarettes.
No, that's
A lot of people think it's not a sin to smoke marijuana.
Oh yeah. No. Anything you smoke is defiling your body. Yeah.
Smoking in general is.
Yeah. You're not supposed to smoke anything.
That's what I.
That's not how we are supposed to consume nutrients. We're supposed to eat everything or drink. That's how we
just
adjust.
asked what was food over here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The stuff that you put in your body,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your body was set up so that if you want to get something from the thing that you're putting in your body, you chew it up and then you swallow it or you drink it. And again, but through your lungs, your lungs not part of your digestive
They just
system.
need oxygen. It's for your
That's
blood.
respiratory. That's
Yeah.
another system.
When there's smoke, you're supposed to get low and get under the smoke. So, inhale it.
Pollution.
Stop, drop, and roll.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Get low with the smoke.
Yeah. So
But even the part of what marijuana is supposed to be good for health doesn't get you high. Right? If you got that, it's not supposed to, oh, we have an herbalist. Yes. Oh, okay. I mean, she does all about herbs.
Oh, so does the hemp? I'll ask you later.
oh, okay, yeah, because you've been asking everybody that. That's his question. Right? Oh man, yeah, you gotta pay her. You dig?
She's literally an herbalist.
Oh, beautiful. See? Well, see, she probably help us on the things that help different parts of the body. That's what sister like her that.
Doesn't get you high.
It's not supposed to get you high.
It's not supposed
They use it for medicinal purposes to cut you open. But that's because they ingested you in so much you became intoxicated. They apply surgery to your body, not because of recreation. It's all about the motive. It's your intention of why you're doing it.
Right. Now, question. Now, the marijuana plant. Is there a way, like for instance, if you make a tea out of it or you add it to your food, could you separate that element that would have that effect? Because is there a way to formally do that? Because I figure.
When you boil it or cook it, it doesn't change the property, but when you burn it, that's when you try to change the
Natural use.
Yeah, right.
When you burn it and then inhale it, the vapor gets inside it, it changes the motive of the plant.
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
But as a tea, it's really good for plants. That's what it's
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, so no smoking. No, we ain't supposed to be burning and inhaling that. And our lungs is for oxygen. All right.
No smoking.
Why you doing that to me? We all got our things. All right. That's all I gotta say. We all have our things. Hey. So to close it out, I'm gonna just read through it real quick. Not to close it out, but to go to the next point. So if anyone destroys the dwelling place of Elohim, Elohim helps to destroy him. For the dwelling place of Elohim is set apart, which you are or should be. Now that you're doing these feast days and you coming into doing these rehearsing these acts, doing these acts, you're supposed to be set apart. We'll be conscious of all this stuff. All right. All right. So we read that. Not much to go. Let's go to Matthew 6 and 16.
Matthew 6, 16.
So the first part of Matthew and 6 that we read yesterday, here it is, regarded praying. Well, not 16. 16. So this part here was talking about praying and not babbling like the other nations do and all that. So now I wanted to cut off because now it goes into, go ahead, Tom.
16. Moreover, when you fast, be not as the hypocrites, of a sad countenance.
You still in the KJV?
What you
Because
want
I got the scripture version up for them.
Switch it up here.
Yeah.
6 and 16. And when you fast, do not be sad-faced like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces so that they appear to be fasting to men. Truly, I say to you, they have their reward.
Right. So when you do a fast, it's between you and the Most High. You don't gotta go around. I'm fasting today, announcing it.
Whoa,
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
Walking around like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with you? Oh, fasting.
Humbly.
Right. I'm being humble. I'm fasting. I'm just being righteous right now. By fasting. No. Yeah. Right. That's between you and y'all. This is between you and the Most High. So you need to be. He's telling you don't. That's what the hypocrites do. They want to be seen. Oh, that person righteous. Look at them fasting. Look how often they fast. No, this is a personal thing because you're trying to elevate yourself, and it's between y'all two.
Even when preparing for a tournament, like I was Googling and researching or whatever, and I know that certain snacks they go without showering, you know, just deodorant, they don't shower, they don't, grill themselves at all.
Mhm.
So I'm like, seriously, like, am I able to shower? Like, she was like, she sent me the scripture, Matthew 6:17, like, wash your, anoint your head. Wash your
Exactly.
hands. So I'm like,
Brush your teeth. Do all that.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's what the other. Now, a lot of times I believe in scriptures that when they mourn, they didn't like they didn't shower. Yeah. Like it's like different fasts for different things. Yeah. Yeah. Like what the nation would do it. There's different kinds of fasts, but I'm talking about for your own personal spiritual growth. Take a shower, brush your teeth, and commit whatever you commit to the Most High through your fast. That's what you do between y'all two. All right. And at the end, then you put up your prayers, and hopefully the Most High bless you at the end of it, and you have some kind of growth. That's why we're going over this. But go ahead.
17.
Yep.
Question.
Oh, go ahead.
So is that different than me saying, like, my wife and my daughter, like, we're gonna fast and come into agreement that we're fasting, that the rest of our family come to this understanding. So is that different than announcing it? Like, we gotta do that privately? I guess.
So you want your household to fast?
Right. So we in agreement fast, right? The plus 3 fast, we want the rest of our family to wake up to the knowledge, right? But we're fasting, like touching agreement, fasting in agreement around a particular topic.
Okay. Yeah.
So is that different than me just like,
I think the idea here is kind of you're not doing a thing so that people could look at you. Like it's not about me, like I fast all the time. I'm fasting right now. I've been fasting for 30 days straight. Prayer to Most High. It's not about you kind of making a commercial about it. Right. Because it talks about the fact that they have their reward. Those people, they have their reward. You don't have to sit up here and do all of that. But, it's different from you, just like you saying that you're doing that for a specific purpose. You're not doing it so that I can look. Well, I hope you're not doing it so that somebody can look at you and think about how holy you are. Like you have like a right reason for why you're trying to do it. It's not even a personal reason, right? It's for people around you. The idea here, I think, is not to you're not proclaiming this thing so that people can look at you.
I'm not putting on my Facebook page.
Right. Yeah. I'm fasting. Look at how righteous how humble I am.
Right.
For instance, in the arena that we work in, nonprofit arena, you have people getting awards for doing good for the community. You know what I mean? Because it's like that's their reward. Their reward won't come from the Most High for doing good in the community. They got their reward from some organization. Like, here's your reward for doing the great stuff you're doing in the community. So we're not doing it for the world to acknowledge us. We're doing it for the Most High to be like, well, my good and faithful
Come on,
You know, I seen the meeting right there. I seen the meeting where they work too, where they had the dude giving the other guy golf, right? When he got his Facebook, he got his phone facing toward himself.
Right.
Saying, look what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah.
Look, let me just say this. I had issues last year trying to get the men to record giving out coats on coat drive and lunches. But I was saying that I wanted to have just something for our, like a promotional, to say we need coats because we're giving them away. But the idea of faces and me handing you something is like, that's a reward. So maybe we'll take pictures of hands giving them to people, but it don't have to be like us giving them to people, like that type of a thing. Like, so it's really just, it's I guess there's like a thin line between the two things, but if you just want to get accolades from people,
So
you're going to
vanity,
hear
then vanity is the opposite of
it's vanity,
humbleness.
yeah.
I
Right.
think it goes back to what she was saying about the marijuana issue and intent, your motive behind what you're doing. So I think what you were doing, your intent was to get people to see what that you were trying to get help for what you were doing.
I want you to give codes so we can give them out.
Yeah, it wasn't
But at the same time, if there's all these recordings of you giving them out, then it's almost like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you don't want to do this, but you want people to give, you want people to contribute towards giving.
What you're doing, I understand. It's a balance.
It's a balance, yeah.
Because I felt an error myself about last year. One of my friends I grew up with was like, well, what are you doing for the people? Huh? What, such and such doing this, such and such doing that. And I was going to tell them that I usually don't broadcast what I do, So one day, I was doing that. I had gourmet food, whatever. And so I was taking pictures of it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to show this dude. And I called him a fool. So I'm going to show this fool this type of stuff I really do. So shut up. But I got tired of him coming on my, well, what are you doing for the people? What are you doing? Such and such came up here and gave out $22,000. TD Jakes came up out of the street and gave out some money. And I said, so what do you want, brother? I said, inbox me. What do you need? How may I help you? Y'all still remember that? How may I help you, brother?
I don't know what that is.
But I felt bad after I did it, but I explained to people, I normally don't do this. I said, but I'm going to do this one time just to show the sense, man, how I get down. You should know that anyway, But I just think that after I did that, I said that was like Satan tempted me. What are you doing for y'all? Huh? What are you doing for y'all? And I had to start off, Satan, I'm doing that. And then what? Oh, you're just as bad as me. You got mad. And he rubbed his hand with bleed. And I walked away with the foolish. But I learned from you.
So what would you two say? Now, there is a thin line between religiosity, which is just religious behaviors you do, and actual spiritual rejuvenation, spiritual, So like, I'll give you an example. When I was in college, I had a girl ask me to fast for her that she would do good on her exam. And I told her, I'm not going to not eat because of your math exam. Because you can just study for it. I'm gonna eat and pray for you that you study and you learn all this stuff and you do well on the exam. I want you to do well, but I'm not fasting about it.
Right.
Just not. I like Susie. Well, she was fasting. She wanted me to fast with her. And I said, I'm not fasting over an exam. I mean, you just study for it, and I'll pray you do well, but I'm not gonna kids fasting over Steeler games. The Steelers win the game. I'm just saying, you come to the Steelers party, I'm not doing nothing. Fasting.
She's not
That
talking
the
about.
Steelers win the
So y'all know you'll be saying to your mouth about the field right?
I mean, I'm just saying, we can get into these religious behaviors Or I'm fasting, but I change a specific behavior in my life, and it's like, just change it. Just do it.
Right.
So I'm just saying, like, there's a thin line between the religiosity of doing these religious things that actually have weighty meaning and making those things common because of our, whatever. What do you guys think about
But you know what though? In my understanding of what I've been doing is, like for instance, the coat drive, you have to announce that because you're asking people to donate to the cause, and you also let them know if you need it, contact them.
Yeah, I said.
So in that aspect, it's cool, but you ain't filming. Look who I gave it to. They bummy. They need it. I helped them. Yay! It's none of that. But my most important thing, like when we did what we did, is you gotta minister the word. That's the purpose of doing it. You know, I'm handing you this. Like, for instance, somebody came to me and asked me for $10. I said, well, I got money on my credit card. I can take you to go get some food. Oh, no, I'm not hungry. What you getting for? They want to eat drugs. Well, can you please spare $3 so can you do something for me? Well, yeah, what you need? I said, I want to tell you about something. It's the word. To the point they start crying. They told me, I don't need your money, man. Well, what I do need is help. So I made a few phone calls and it was going to the rehab. But it was just that encounter right here. You know? But it's important to have compassion and they see the sincerity in yourself. You know? Because the brother said, man, you really care about me like that? I said, well, coming from the same life you came from, yes, I do. Because I know growing up in the hood, the streets never loved us. But I love you because I came out of the streets.
What verse we at? We at
It's just a difference, man. How you approach it.
17?
So we're to judge each other, but we're also to counsel each other.
Yeah, well, I think that when you think about the idea, you know, we have to. There's things that we do. There's definitely things that we do. You think about just keeping the law, statutes, and commands. But if you just doing those things and there's no relationship behind it, if the instigation is your own self, you know, you're just doing things. We have to, in all the things that we do, the reason that we're doing it always must be Messiah. Right? He said, if you love me, then keep my commandments. Right? So the first thing is having that relationship with the Father, and the proof that you have that relationship with the Father is you're doing the things that he likes. So sometimes you have people who just like to do the things, which, you know, now you're talking about this other thing, what you're talking about. So in all of that, you know, there has to be that balance. There has to be that, you know, not putting the cart before the horse. You know, the first thing is Messiah, and then everything else comes beyond it. Even if we sit up here and talk about, we talking about fasting. You know, if you're sitting up here doing these fasts and getting your body right and all of this, but you're not really dealing with Messiah, and you're not allowing for him to be on the throne in the whole situation. Like anybody could not eat food. You know what I mean? Anybody can eat good food only, right? Anybody can do that, but unless we, are attacking this thing from a holistic standpoint, which talking about we dealing with the spiritual aspect, we dealing with the mental aspect, we dealing with the physical aspect, with the spiritual aspect being on top, being that's the beginning of the thing, because anybody can do things, right? But we have to first be reconnected to the Father, which that all comes through Messiah. So when we talk about religiosity and doing things, we always have to deal with the motivation. Why are you doing it? You doing it so people can see you, or you doing it so that the Most High can look and smile at you and be pleased with what you're doing?
Hey, just going up a few verses in the prayer, it says, "Let your will be done." You know, going back to what we want His will to be. So that's the main focus. Yeah, I mean, somebody say fast for me for some carnal reason. That don't make sense. That's not why you would do it. Yeah, I mean,
And like I said, that's what instead of like doing things good, like you keeping up, you're keeping the days until you like it. It's kind of hard to make that for you to appear to set yourself apart to the outside. You'll still look the same, just doing something different. So you gotta definitely build that because once you get around to who you're around, you should definitely look different. It should be different. You should be having something to where you're such and so forth. So doing because you like doing, or because just to go with the flow, it doesn't make you look different.
right, right. Is the breakout the meeting supposed to be at 1 or thought I'd want to read it. Is it 1:45 or 1? Teresa, what's the schedule thing? Is it at 1? All right, so we got about 8 minutes. All right, so let's end it with the ending scripture, Proverbs 4, chapter 4, verse 14.
Proverbs 4:14. Do not enter the path of the wrong, and do not walk in the way of evildoers.
We're going down to 23.
Oh, avoid it. Do not pass by it. Turn away from it and pass on. For they do not sleep unless they have done evil, and their sleep is taken away unless they make someone fall. For they have eaten the bread of wrongdoing, and they drink the wine of violence. But the path of the righteous is like the light of dawn that shines ever brighter unto the perfect day. The way of the wrong is like darkness. They do not know at what they stumble. My son, listen to my words, incline your ear to my sayings. Let them not depart from your eyes, guard them in the midst of your heart. You said what?
23.
For they are life to those who find them, and healing to all their flesh. Watch over your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the sources of life.
Right. So I pretty much just wanted to end on that. I mean, that sums up, for the most part, what we were speaking about. You want to guard these sayings and teachings in your mind and your heart. It says, for they are life to them who found them. We should be rejoicing and happy and blessed because we found it. We found that this is the way. Because it says that those that are in the darkness, they don't know what they're stumbling at. They don't even know.
They just tripping over everything.
Yeah, they tripping over everything, getting jacked up. So I just wanted to bring this aspect of prayer and what you put in your body and how it affects your body, because it's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's so to be conscious of your temple, what you put into it, what you present to the Most High. That means something. And this word, as it says here, in healing to all their flesh. This word is healing us, showing you what to do. The Most High put everything on this earth to give us sustenance. So, I implore everybody, you got an herbalist in the house now, so you can ask about, I hope Most High will, we can ask about herbs and things to get, our mind and the spirits, connected and just on, a healthier tip to be that best sacrifice we can be to the Most High. All right. Anybody? Yeah. So, it says present your body as a living sacrifice. And were we able to bring blemished things that he said they're not? Yeah, holy and acceptable sacrifices. So, we want to present ourselves that way the best that we can to our ability, So, go ahead.
So, this ties in like what Tom just got from the saying. It's like, we're doing these things, keeping these days and keeping the commandments for a relationship, not for the motions. You know what I mean? We're not doing these things just because we've been ordered to do them. We're doing them so that we can be in the right position to have that relationship. And that's, you know, been my prayer lately. It's like, I don't want to just go through the motions. I don't want to just keep the laws. I need you. You know what I mean? Like, I want your presence. I want to feel you. I want to see miracles. I want all of that. I want that relationship. So all of the things that, you know, we're trying to walk out day in and day out for the purpose of that relationship. So he can come in and sup with us. So he can come in and dwell within us. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm seeking. That's what I want. And, you know, I ain't gonna lie, like for a while, you know, when I was in the Christian faith, remember we was crying out at parachurch and all of that stuff? I mean, I felt his presence, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, his presence was there. And then I started going towards keeping the commandments and all of that, and it seemed like I was going away from his presence. But now I feel like it's turning around. Like I'm doing what's right now, keeping the commandments and coming back to getting back to his presence. And so that's the place I'm trying to be in, that sweet spot where I'm walking right and that presence is there.
I mean, I felt really close to God when we was just praising him today.
Yeah.
It was just, you know what I mean? Like, everybody was really feeling the praise of the Most High. You know, we can get so religious that we're just bound up in our religion, in our religiosity. We hate to use the word religion, but then we can be very religious in what we're doing and how we're doing it. And that's the problem with the whole movement, I think, is that we've lost that connection to being a tabernacle of God, the Holy Spirit dwelling inside of us. And we're literally the dwelling place of the Almighty.
I love the fact that you keep us on point with singing songs. I love that because that's when, you know what I mean, when you're praising them, you know what I mean?
But you know,
hype. This would be hype.
Real quick, one thing that I've noticed and always noticed is the Most High love when you sing. That's why whenever I was watching, I was totally with GOCC, it would, like, I just didn't understand how whenever they would do praise or worship, and I'm only seeing over, you know, the computer, but the fact that it seemed like everyone had to sit still, like, no, and they would just, you know, like, having that, to me, that doesn't move. You know what I mean? I have to feel, I wanna praise him how I would listen to any song. I wanna dance, and in the scriptures it says, dance, sing, give me praise.
music, temple, instruments.
They were dancing praise off.
They wasn't sitting down.
They wow. Right.
That means she gonna be there, right? That's right.
We just say Shabbat Shalom on the thing, or Shalom. All right, everybody, Shalom. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Most High bless.